Well, look what we have here. Kevin Feige is being accused for resenting the X-Men 97 show. And it's interesting because the writer who wrote the first two seasons was fired last year. There's a lot of speculation about Bew DeMayo. We're going to get to his post a little bit later on. But yeah, I loved X-Men 97. This show was fantastic. The writing was great. The story was awesome. I like what they did with all the characters, the relationship with Cyclops and Jean, Storm, where she had to go get her powers back. That was pretty cool. I love the villains in the show. Bringing back Professor X, he wasn't a big part of the story until later on in the season. And all the characters did great. I mean, it was just great writing, and they told a really good story. Who knew? If you just sit there and you're trying to entertain your fans and not push different propagandas and tell a good story, people are going to watch. Now, creator says here that Kevin Feige resented the show, paid for crew rap party himself. And he's also detailed what he calls a broken parliament system that gives uninformed notes and outsources comic research to assistants. Yikes. And this is why I think right now Marvel is in a lot of trouble. After Fantastic Four First Steps, which I thought was a good movie, I really enjoyed it. What does there look forward to? And people will cope and say, well, we're still going to break even. Yeah, that's great. But movies, when you make these films, the studios aren't looking to barely break even the movie. They want to make a significant profit from their films because a lot of work put into a lot of money put into these movies. And this year, they've already seen, not Fantastic Four, but Captain America bomb at the box office. You have Thunderbolts bomb at the box office. And I like Thunderbolts. But what we're seeing here is that people are not as interested in Marvel right now because of the decisions they've made over the last 6 years. They've changed the origin of characters. They're bringing in characters that people don't really care about. And they're going to try to rescue the Marvel universe by doing fan service next year with an unfinished script from Doomsday. And I don't know how that's going to work. We'll see if it plays out the way they expect. And the only thing I'm looking forward to right now is Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man is going to be an awesome movie. I like what I'm seeing on the set with making Tom Holland's Spider-Man a street level Spider-Man. I know there's a lot of characters in that movie, but I think they'll do really well. And I think that's going to make a ton of money. But yeah, I mean, this is the sad stuff because X-Men was so good. And Kevin Feige's ego just getting in the way again. I'm not surprised by that at all. But according to DeMayo, Marvel's leadership skipped the X-Men 97 premiere and refused to host a wrap party. So he paid for one himself. Good for him. Good for Bew DeMayo for doing that. You're taking care of your employees. One of the main final straws for me was Kevin and studio leadership not attend the premiere to thank or show support for the cast and crew who busted their butt, working 7 days a week for 3 years. Insane stuff, man. And also the studio declined to do a wrap party to celebrate the show's success in May. Who paid $7,000 out of his own pocket for the wrap party for the crew? That would be me. This is bad PR. And man, Kevin Feige, he's just getting a lot of heat. And he deserves it. He's been terrible the last 6 years. He's been wanting to push the MCU on people and this girl boss stuff when Marvel is a boy brand, and it's not working for them. People are not showing up to the theaters to watch his trash. Now, again, Fantastic Four didn't have really any woke stuff to me. I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary, but the Pedro Pascal fatigue is a real thing. Superhero fatigue is a real thing. And the woke stuff, whether you want to admit it or not, people don't like it. And it's just been a disaster for Marvel. So I want to read the statement from Bew DeMayo here. He says, first, the X-Men are so much bigger than one creative, myself included. Would I've loved to write, direct, steer the live action films? Of course. But I have great faith that there are amazing artists out there who have amazing visions and stories to tell with the X-Men. Now, do I have faith in the MCU's mutant saga? Short answer, not yet, no. And let me walk through why so you don't think I'm just being a hater. Of course, people will still think this guy's a hater, but it is what it is. Everyone's entitled to their opinions. X-Men requires planning, deep planning to pull them off and make them resonate. You also have to be very mindful of how you're laying out their story and the way in which audiences will experience the story. You also need to suppress your ego to make it your own and focus on meeting the mutant on their terms, which means deeply respecting their canon and the emotional investment that fans have in that canon. And that's all we want. Care about the characters, make good content. If you can't do that, people are not going to show up. If you're not trying to appeal to your audience and listen to them, and you're focused on identity politics and trying to speak to a smaller audience who doesn't, really represent the characters too well, then you're going to turn fans off. With this in mind, this is the start of Marvel Studios' mutant saga. a retcon and musical sting in the Miss Marvel that she's now somehow a mutant. Literally, our first entry to the X-Men MCU is not one of the decades worth of mutants, but a YA retcon that Kevin forced onto the franchise to make his own, throwing his weight around and out the MCU spin. And it is a tease and retcon that they still have not paid off. To the above, for decades, X-Men fans have waited for Teenage Mutant like Jubilee and Kitty Pryde to get their justice in doing film. I liked Jubilee. She was awesome. Kevin knows this, but just like Fox shoved a teenage retcon rogue down our throats, Kevin and Marvel shocked Khan down our throats when far more interesting mutants would do. Again, it comes down to putting the characters in front of the audience that they care about, not characters they don't care about. It's a blank to you two fans, and having been in the room with these guys is absolutely all ego. Even having a newly cast Jubilee show up at the end of Miss Marvel to recruit her would have been better than the instantly forgettable tag we got. A real nostalgic cameo of Professor X and Doctor Strange too, and that was annoying because you were pushing this multiverse. You have another version of Professor X and you kill him off right away. Just keep him alive. Like, why would you kill him in that universe? It didn't make any sense. It was a dumb decision because what's the point of having different versions of their characters and you're still going to kill them off again? Like, that was the third time they killed off Professor X? It's just dumb writing. So next, Monica Rambeau somehow finding herself transported back to meet Beast from the worst X-Men movie ever made. Again, we don't know what they're going to do with that. They just have the cameo and that's it, just to get people to watch Miss Marvel, which bombed at the box office. The Marvels, I should say, was just a trash movie. And add that these two characters have zero history or irony to having met one another in the same way that, say, Nick Fury coming to meet Tony Stark had in Phase 1. Well said, because that made sense. You're starting the Avengers team. Beast and Monica Rambeau, what do they have in common? Like, what is their history? Why should we care about this? These are some of the stakes that Marvel has been making, and Kevin Feige and his team continues to push out, and they think it's a good idea. All the tags in Phase 1 begged a clear, exciting story, the creation of the Avengers. What the blank does Beast and Monica tease? Exactly. Nothing. It's just a desperate play to make us care, want a better tag. What if the film ended with Monica or Carol waking up to meet Anna Paquin's Rogue? Now that does what the MCU's Phase 1 tags did. And then the retries of Wolverine and Deadpool from the Fox franchise that the MCU and Kevin had zero to do with, to tell a fan parenting story of Reddit wish list that seemed to say farewell to the Fox universe again. And yet again, the MCU being like Fox in this lazy reliance on Wolverine as the face of the X-Men. You know, the reason why No Way Home did well was because it was from the previous saga and they brought in fan service. Wolverine, Deadpool. Now, these are great films. I'm not taking anything away from them. Wolverine, Deadpool, they brought in, old characters, fan service, and we have seen that Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds in the old saga. Now, they weren't part of that universe, but you get what I'm saying. Like, we grew up watching these characters. And then Guardians of the Galaxy 3, they were part of the saga with Thanos, right? So we care about those characters. We've grown to love them. Those movies did really well. You look at X-Men 97, they brought back, the old series from the 90s and did a new version of it. So have they made anything brand new in Marvel outside of Shang-Chi that was good to me? I mean, yeah, I love Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts. I mean, those are good films, but again, the numbers don't lie. People aren't showing up. So you just wonder, like, what is Disney Marvel doing? Why can't Kevin Feige just put his ego to the side and just let these characters do their part? It's just kind of crazy to me because this guy poured his heart and soul into the X-Men series, and you're just going to shove him out the door. And a lot of it was because the fans were like, this is what we want from Marvel. This is what we've been longing for, and telling Disney Marvel, this is what you need to be focused on. They were using it, as you see here, as a referendum on how the MCU is failing. That's just feedback from the fans. If you're upset about that, Kevin Feige, then why are you in this business? Because anytime you make a product and you're trying to sell it to your fans, you're going to get feedback. You're going to get reviews. That's just how it goes. And if they're saying, hey, like, this is really good, this is what I've been waiting for in the Marvel Universe. It's been pretty mid over the last 4 years because X-Men 97, over the last 5 years, just because this series came out last year in 2024, then you should listen to that and then tap into those, reasons of why they think it's better and follow the feedback. Don't go backwards, right? So as you see, DeMeo says Feige and co-president Luis didn't show up for the premiere to thank the fans. That's just pathetic. This is a bad look. Now, again, some of this is speculation. I don't know if Kevin Feige really resented the show, but he's the writer. And again, any type of PR about your product that's negative isn't good, especially the way Marvel is right now. They're just in a world of trouble. If they don't get it together, by Doomsday, like if that movie doesn't make money, they're cooked. Like this whole franchise is done for. Like Disney might want to consider selling off Marvel because nobody's going to care, and people don't care right now anyways. So if, Spider-Man, I expect to be good because it's Spider-Man, but if this doesn't perform like it should, then RIP Kevin Feige, and I hope he just ends up quitting and finding someone else to take over. And the leadership that's there, they move on as well. Because we need comic book writers and people who care about this product making the decisions. Let's get back to making good content, good movies and TV shows, people who actually care about these characters, and stop pushing out people who don't care about. And if you're going to have, women superheroes, tell a good story like Wanda. Like the WandaVision show was amazing to me because they took their time showing us the grief she was dealing with in Vision, and then when she had to move on from him because she had to let go of that fake reality, we saw the pain she went through and we cared about it. Like, do that again. You could have had Ironheart go from a villain to a hero, but you just had her sell her soul to Mephisto. That was just a dumb decision. I just don't get what Marvel's trying to do here. But again, we'll see how this all plays out. I would love to hear your thoughts about what Beau DeMayo had to say about his experience of writing X-Men and Kevin Feige. Do you agree or disagree with his statements? And how do you feel about Marvel right now? Are you excited for the future? Are you like, meh, I don't really care right now? Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.